The global media, mass media coverage of the events in Paris, the way the public is responding to the propaganda, Fox News coverage, CNN coverage, across the board, it's all being designed to keep people terrified or in a state of aggression, wanting to go after certain people that they're being misled and told falsehoods about. Not only Muslims, but people that are brown. By many people, they're suspecting them of either being illegal aliens or of being Muslim. There is an increase in racism taking place. It cannot be denied with some people. And that is the intention of the mainstream media. On a global scale, though, not just on one level going in one direction. That's what I'm getting at. On a global level, there's this coordinated effort to keep multiple groups at once fighting each other. I mean, it's common sense to see it. We could see how the mainstream media played its role in the Ferguson protests. And we're seeing in this situation here with the aftermath of the shooting in Paris, which was likely a manufactured event, we're seeing this backlash against Muslims. We're seeing this one lady in Arkansas, as you'll see in the upcoming edition of OTB TV, which will be online in a few hours. A father and son from Southeast Asia, simply because they had brown skin, were denied entry into a gun range in Arkansas. And the owner proudly said, well, we have a no Muslim policy. Well, they're not Muslim. That's the thing. They're not Muslim. They simply had brown skin. So there's a lot of denial out there that people actually will take in propaganda by the mainstream media and act on it, or that it will become a part of their beliefs. That's exactly how things happen, but a lot of people are still in denial about that. They don't understand subliminal advertising, for that matter, nor how we're affected by subliminals in the so-called newscasts, which are just really selling us more fear, more terror. They're selling us the military-industrial complex and so much more. So people have yet to actually wake up to this fact. Now, on the other end, again, they're doing this on all these different angles. They want to incite Muslims. We're talking about 1 billion Muslims. They're insulting their prophet. There are other groups saying stand with Charlie Hebdo or Hebdo. I don't give a fuck what it's called. We have people in the alternative media saying stand with Charlie. What the fuck? Don't get involved in this shit. Just like people try to pick a side, and we're going to be on Zimmerman's side, and it turns out the dude was a fucking wacko. Put a shotgun to his girlfriend's head. Okay, you wouldn't find me doing that in a million years. And I'm not taking a side in that situation either. Whatever situation we're looking at. In a lot of these cases in America, for example, in these recent shootings, we have questionable circumstances on both sides where it's pretty expectable you're going to have a 50-50 or some sort of a split on opinion on the matter, because there are facts that show that you can look at it from literally two different sides. And that's perfect for the controllers. Okay, we're going to amp this up and make a lot of, angry people. We're going to create a mob of angry people. They're going to make this their racial issue. And there are people divided by gender as well, divided by class. There's a lot of hatred of the homeless, a lot of misunderstanding as to what causes homeless. A lot of people think you got to be mentally ill to become homeless, so thus you're some sort of leech or threat. So a lot of people don't understand they're closer than they actually know to real economic hardship. A lot of concern, by the way, a lot of focus on September of 2015 as a period in time where we can see the next pop of this bubble, this monster bubble that we've seen created out of the aftermath of the 2008 banker bailout. And that's going to be heavy. That's going to be hardcore. And people are going to be affected by that economic crunch to the next level because we've been living on borrowed time for so long. I don't want to be in a major city when that happens. There's going to be more programs running at that time, keeping people divided. But they are trying to incite the Muslim world. This cannot be discounted. This is not safe. There are some people that will actually act on certain things. And we know the borders are wide open on purpose. That the whole thing's being laid out by design for us to end up fucked in the process. For America to fall, to take the bullet, to take the punch. And it has to be exposed. It has to be discussed how those in power, those in media are acting in a way that will end this country. And it is happening now. And so it begins. It is a very bad sign when governments and media engage in propaganda that could incite people towards violence to other people. This is worse than 9/11 in some cases. Worse than 9/11. Because now they're going after all Muslims. And they're saying to the world there's nothing peaceful about them. Now, they can have some people, they can even have the president come out and play the good guy to keep fucking with people's heads. Like maybe there's some good in him. No, there's no good in him. There's no good in any of them. It's all more deception when they play the role as the counterfeit good guy, as the counterfeit rescuer in this bizarre MK Ultra fucking of our brains. Only the fucking we're going through doesn't necessarily involve any lubrication or any eyes wide shut shit, but it's still like some subtle form of trauma-based mind control where they just keep hitting the population with tear and tear and tear, and a fake good guy that comes out that only comes around to turn on them and put their head in the toilet, which is what Obama's doing, only to pull the head out of the toilet in a torture type of scenario to allow us to breathe again. Oh, give us more food stamps. Oh, weed is legal now. Only to put our head back in the toilet, and do some other crazy shit. And some people, they respond to that type of torture. Like, oh, this feels good. I like it. Oh, spank me, daddy. And every now and then, Obama spanked their ass. Some people enjoy this bondage that they're under. I don't. They want to incite the Muslim world. Iran is probably the next thing that's going to be the big thing. And we'll probably see that going into 2016, 2017, as the Republicans take office again. People are talking about Jeb Bush. Ted Cruz has certainly been groomed for something for some time, as has been Rand Paul, who gave his reverse or response State of the Union. It's just a little too perfect for Rand Paul to be in the position that he's in, despite the good things that he's done, despite the amazingly wonderful things that his father's done. Watch that boy. He's on a mission to somewhere. It's not by accident that he's in the position that he's in right now, especially with talks of presidency and who the fuck buys this script? Yeah, anybody can be the president. I don't think in my life I ever believed such nonsense at any point. I cannot think of a time in my life where I believed such nonsense. Oh, anybody can be the president. I can be the president. I think I grew up fast. So it's important that we grow up fast and not be childish about this. They want to incite people, and they are running this program across the world. They want war. They want conflict. They want people to be consumed with the spirit of revenge. Yes, get back at them. That's right. Yeah, you've been fucked. Your face has been put in the mud. What you gonna do, boy? What you gonna do? And there's a time to fight back, and there's a way to fight back. And there's a way that they try to box people in and say, you're boxed in, you've got nowhere to go. You have to strike back. Don't let anyone tell you when you are or when you're not boxed in. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of the truth. Are there people being lynched down the street from where you live? Is the propaganda working? And maybe working on a certain level, but is it working around us? There's the way things seem on the media. And there's how things are in real life. The truth is, I do feel that I've been discriminated against on a number of different levels. But regardless of that, it doesn't mean that we have to sit in the dirt. There's a lot of people out there that feel victimized that just continue to sit down, to lay down. They never speak out. They never use their voice as their weapon of choice. There are so many people that are lost in their addiction or something else, or there are some people that take their pain out on others. Sometimes they rape people or hurt people or seek to have their own armies or seek to have slaves under their control. People that engage in those activities themselves have been victimized, and they're responding to that victimization in an unconscious manner. Well, the reality is there's a lot of people being victimized right now. They're going to respond to their victimization in an unconscious manner as time goes on in the future, which is why I don't see urban living as the most safe, even if you're not affected by it now. So I'm advocating a sense of balance. Be aware that this type of propaganda is going on around us. Don't let it affect you. Try not to take it personal, even if it may seem very personal. And how am I learned about this? It seems like, they've got this prototype of the ultimate enemy. Conspiracy theories, Persians, men, people that are introverts. And as I look down the line, I don't know if any of you have noticed it, but when I look down the line, a lot of them incorporate some of me in that. Likes to stick to themselves, independent thinker, visited certain websites. If you look at the way that they have demonized certain other people in the media and a lot of these online tabloids, just being someone that thinks for yourself that's outside of the popular opinion or vox populi is a threat, is suspicious behavior. And we have to be brave. I shall talk about this more in the future. We must be brave and not be so threatened. And then they talk about the lists and coming to get people's guns, and they let you know they've taken a lot of pictures of you. I mean, it's already known that the government collects quite a bit of child porn, and that they have access webcams, and there's these massive databases, and there's these abuses of power that have taken place with some of these employees of these agencies. And then there's the things that you don't know about. Then there's the things that are swept under the rug. And it's like this conditioning process. It's like watching a society being conditioned the way some dogs are trained. It's like watching animal training. And that's why I have to talk about this. That's why it must be discussed. People are being trained. And in the case of people being boxed or led to believe that they're being pushed up against the fence to where they have to fight back, it's like a dog being hit over and over and over and over and over again. They're trying to treat people like a dog. Just keep hitting them, and eventually they'll bite back, and then you'll have the excuse to completely exterminate them. And it seems like that's what's taking place right now, and that this is all being done to build up to something. I think Iran will be put back on the map, to build to something that'll lead to World War III, that'll lead to a whole bunch of people getting killed. And in that scenario, America will be taking the fall. They're trying to lead our fellow countrymen into darkness at this time in the Western world, and it's terrifying for some of us that are trying to expose the truth, and for some of us that may be a little Persian by blood. And it requires perseverance, it requires faith, it requires strength. It requires to tap into that knowing, to maintain that knowing, to hold that close to us, that we are on the right path regardless of what happens. And I'm going to end with this. The director of The Gray State, for those that haven't seen the trailer of The Gray State, this man was working on this film that depicted a future martial law scenario where Americans were rounded up, black bagged by their own government. Well, he's been working on this for a couple of years. I know what it's like to struggle with a project, and this was a project that had a lot of support. Well, before the film was even finished, I don't know what stage of production it's at, but there are some people that are going to try to finish it. Before the film was even finished, he allegedly killed himself after murdering his 5-year-old daughter and his beautiful wife. Now, this has taken a lot of people by surprise. A lot of people are disturbed by this, and they're not buying the official story that it was a murder-suicide. The thing is, this person was doing good work, and I believe that he was also a vet. I don't know whether he killed anyone or not. I do think that if you've killed people in this life, that karma could haunt you. And I know there are some people that don't believe in that. I believe that it could also haunt you beyond this lifetime. And some people can seemingly get away with evil while they're in this body. But I believe there's more to one's life experience, one's soul's experience than one lifetime in a physical human body. These are just spokes on a wheel in a much larger experience. I feel that way in my heart. And so without going off into a detour in thought, a person that was doing good, including his innocent daughter and wife, they were all killed. Whether he killed them or whether the government killed them, a 5-year-old daughter and a woman, his wife, were killed, regardless of who did the killing. Sometimes we're removed from this planet by the Creator or somehow, some way, and it's just how it is. And I think that there's something larger than this experience, than this life, than just pure blackness. And so I'm using this as a case study of sometimes things happen, and we may not know why. And when it happens to a 5-year-old, whoever did it, whether it was really a murder-suicide or whether it was the government making it look like a suicide and killing them, they're still dead. Should women then continue to live in fear? Oh, if I'm involved with the man who's involved in putting out information about the government, will I be in danger? I've seen that fear in women that I've known in the past. It's a primal fear. It's a serious fear. Could being associated with this dude threaten my life? It's a serious fear for women that know what's going on. And it takes a certain amount of bravery and faith in something beyond your flesh to be stronger than the terror that's being perpetuated against us. Because that's exactly the terror that is being perpetuated against us. As this is breaking now in the news, the director of the Gray State Project is dead along with his 5-year-old and wife. And what do we make of this? With our beliefs and everything happens for a reason and we will be protected for doing the right thing. Well, how'd this happen? How could it happen? And what else is possible? You know, I've made it this far. I'm 34. But I'm under no illusion that I'll make it to my 80th birthday. I know that what I'm doing is right, regardless of what happens to the body. And this understanding could change the world if people did what was right, regardless of the fear of what would happen to their flesh. On a global level, this level of consciousness exploding. And so those that are in control have the power to do certain things to aspects of the population and use that global media behind them as this. That propaganda is really this mace that they hit the population with. Bam! A lot of people don't even see the mace coming. They don't even realize the mainstream media is a part of the beast. So the mainstream media comes right at them and bam! Hits their consciousness. Brass knuckles to your forehead. Mainstream media. Bam! They're coming to kill you. They're coming to murder you. Bam! They do it to the Muslim world. They're lynching you. They're coming for you. You got to do something. They're insulting your prophet. Bam! Global level. I see that evil working on a global level. It's a program. It might as well be artificial intelligence. But stupid, it is not. It is intelligent. We are under a sophisticated, intelligent, dark attack from forces known and unknown. And it is the unknown levels of darkness that need more attention as we seek their destruction. We must become aware of the what is, not exaggerate the fear, but truly liberate and break the chains that bind us psychologically, that keep us back from the truth. As we bite into the truth, absorb the truth, become the truth, and set ourselves free. No longer seeking salvation from others, healing from others. knowledge from others, but having that knowledge inside ourselves, breaking free from the spell, breaking free from mind control, being able to actually push back any attempt to penetrate your mind. You know, we are awash in a world of signals and electromagnetic pollution. And some of us with some level of sight are more affected by others than others. Some people seem to easily sit in shit and live amongst a world of noise pollution, whereas others, we seek quiet and solitude. We seek to hear our own thoughts. I just want this video to reach the right people. That there are people out there that still have not matured their own personal experience with God, that claim that they are members of certain religions, both Christians, Jews, Muslims, and others. There are many that have the statue of Buddha that are all about materialism, baby. Right here in Portland, Oregon. Frauds all the way. They're so counterfeit, they're a counterfeit of a counterfeit of a counterfeit. It's not even funny. We live in a world where people claim to have faith need to wake up and see what faith really is, what dialogue with God really is, what a soul's evolution really means. There are people that need to really take their so-called spirituality all the way. Frankly, there are people out there that should know better. There are people out there that have a Satan or a devil or a shaitan in their belief system, and they cannot see that dark force behind government, behind the global media, trying to incite them. There was that clip from Bill Hicks where he's reenacting a cowboy movie, and he's talking about the Middle East, how the Western world gives them weapons, tells them to pick it up, as he reenacts a movie from the past. Pick up the gun. And that's what we're seeing. It doesn't even have to be a gun. Either respond with revenge or respond with terror, that someone's going to come and murder you any second. And you know as well as I do that for years since 9/11, people that know better, that have wanted to speak out, have chosen not to out of fear that one day they themselves could be black-bagged and removed, just like that, from this planet. When it's my time to go, it is my time to go. Until then, I've made that leap of faith. And I've made that leap of faith and maintained that, knowing that there are good people that have been violently removed from this planet simply for being the daughter and a wife or others of those that were targeted by the government, that they've gone after people's families. I mean, that's heavy-duty shit. To continue to stand against such a foe, such an evil, requires the utmost faith that we were not brought to this earth to live our lives as cowards. And I'm going to conclude this video at that.